Hey guys, how you doing? Let me know you can see my screen okay. Stocks Predator should be on there. Excellent. So we're going to do some scanning with the Stocks Predator, some technical analysis, and then we're going to go over confluence. Or confluence strategy, because gold hit again today. We won't be doing any Ninja Trader today because my VPS gone down. I think it's something to do with the internet issues rather in the Middle East. It's been in and out since this cable was cut in the Red Sea. So some days we have like 12 megabytes, and then I'm back up to 500 megabytes where I should be at 1 gig. And then other things have not been working properly. Very strange. How you doing, Mal? Okay, so I've started to do this sort of midweek market mastery now. That's good. I'm suffering from a cold because I've just got back to Dubai and I'm not used to. I've been 3 months out of air conditioning and now I'm in air conditioning, suffering a little bit. So yeah, the midweek market mastery is to first always start with stocks predator, go through the scanners, um, do some technical analysis, that sort of thing, and then I wanted to do an ASB today on VWAP Predator, but I can't because my Ninja Trader on my system needs updating with the source code. The VPS, which was working earlier today, is not working at the moment. So there we go. Okay, so let's look at the scanner. First of all, I'm going to look at for some confluence on the stocks predator. So I'm going to go 3 green. Just interested in the longs. ETFs in there. That's interesting. Have a look at those. Bitwise Crypto Industry Innovators ETF. Actually doesn't look too bad. There's a bit of room up there. Let's have a look on the weekly. Right, so obvious weekly zone there. Not a lot of room to that. And there's those highs. I'm just going to put that in there as well. Obviously, these drawings will stay on here anyway on this chart. So just because it doesn't, probably not going to be an opportunity right now, there's no reason why you can't just do some operational landscape work on this. So it's there for the future. Good weekly zone there. If I just go big on that for a second. So here I picked up this pivot and that pivot and these low pivots here, and then we've just pulled back into there as well. So, we could be in a bit of a range bound period, but if it breaks up above here, that looks pretty interesting. Doesn't pay dividends. Yeah, Bitcoin's just starting to move today. Um, and Ethereum as well. I think this is just a watch and wait. I'm going to add this to my Paul's main watch list. So obviously those that are subscribed to it on the Stocks Predator will get there. And then I'll go and add some notes to it using the journal. Just going to go back to the daily a second. See, we've got full confluence in there right now, but we're too close to that weekly zone. So in reality, the start line is, breaking this $23 sort of line, 23.27 really. The danger is it's not a dividend paying ETF at the moment. So you're looking for growth, you're looking to make profit on the ETF, and there's a lot of room to the upside to that $35 point. You want to make sure you're not going range bound. So this one will be just to watch for now. And then obviously keep an eye on it every day and see if we can break through there. Yeah. Yeah, well, I use YBTC as well. Yeah. I think I got you into that, didn't I? It pays dividends every week. It's phenomenal. I think too close a pivot on that one. Let's go look at some stocks now. Okay, cool. Two near highs there. So just go through these. There's only 12 of them. Oh, shame we didn't spot that for that wave four pullback. That would have been a great move into that fifth wave target zone there. Phenomenal. Really good move. Made all the criteria for Elliott wave. And that would have been a great, fantastic fifth wave move. Where are we live with that? Yeah, it hit the fifth wave target today. Okay, that. No, too many pivots. When you're looking at stocks for investing or trading to a low volume, we are trying to look for reasons not to trade. We're looking for confirmations, we're looking for confluences, and we're looking for fresh air. When you see pivots like this, not a great deal of fresh air there. And then we've got those all-time highs there. No, there isn't going to be something that stands out every day. I mean, this doesn't look too bad right now. So, but we've got some big sort of resistance coming in here. Just do some work on it. So the wave four, in theory, failed, okay, but it's not broken any Elliott wave rules. So it's come back up and it's been very complex, this move. We've got full confluence now. So in theory, what you would look for is to use that fifth wave target zone for its target. In the middle is there $66. But we have on the daily what we would call for swing trading a short-term sort of resistance zone there. So by the time we've cleared that, uh, you know, to get that move of that fifth wave to $66, we would have to look for a break and a close above there, and then put a very aggressive stop underneath. It's been going too long, too sideways for me to actually consider that one. Lots of resistance up at these pivots here for that one. That's interesting. Roblox. I mean, look at that move. That is phenomenal. Now we've got full confluence here. That is interesting. I mean, you don't even, let's go to the weekly. I want to do some more work on this. Okay, quite parabolic. Yeah. So that's the top there. Weekly, we go for that color. Have we got anything else weekly? Oh, we've got big support down here. I think really that helps us with understanding the start of this sort of really big impulse move. when we're looking at parallel channels, again, very important to get some major pivots, but also I'm also looking for that center line as well. So when we do this and we go big, I think I'd rather actually go for a channel on the daily for this last move. I mean, you can see it on the weekly here. Yeah, let's go daily. And let's go quite really, really tight on this one. Going to go for this pivot. We've got the confluence of non-linear and linear support there. Just adjust that slightly. And let's zoom in. Okay. I really want to go tighter than that. This was a one-hit wonder outside the channel and back in again. I think this really needs to be the channel. It's so tight. What a move. I actually think we need a parabolic move out of this channel. So we need to, I mean, the danger is if we do break this, we've got a full confluence here and we could just meander on up. That's fine. It's still winning. Um, I think it's just worth putting on the watch list for now. I need to do some more work on it. I want to see what happens when it breaks 150. In reality, that's that double top for those highs. I'd rather see it test, move up, come down, and then look for a move up. I don't think it's going to really go for it, and it is earnings. 30th of October, a lot of time. Okay. Yeah, next earnings 30th of October. Not a lot of short interest on that. I think it's definitely, I'm going to add that to my Paul's main watch list and do some work on that tomorrow, I think. Um, Certainly a lot of confluence there. See the false breakout stochastic here. That denotes a really strong bullish trend. We can see that all the way from sort of July last year, so over a year. We've had a pullback. So just because this is a sort of a pullback on it and it's a wave two in theory, it doesn't mean we can still measure this oscillator here, like it's the Elliott wave oscillator. So this simple measurement is we go from the zero line to the highest point on that impulse move. Let's just get rid of a lot of these and just have a 0.9 or 1.4 and get rid of all the rest. Even get rid of the zero. So this profile here on the oscillator for this pullback is between 90 and 140%, and now we've broken back through there. This is all a good sign. This is all a good sign for a potential long here, but we're too close to the highs and this resistance to go now. What we need to do is get it through 150. And if that fails, the likelihood is we'll go we'll have the pullback and we'll get another opportunity. So apparently, according to that, let me just bear with me, guys. Apparently the VPS is it's not going in yet. Okay, so that's on my list as well. Let's have a look at Wix, the last one of the four, confluence. Oh, this is one that I've traded in the past, and we can see those weekly resistance and supports here. We're just actually getting to that one now. So this is not for the list right now. Okay. So let's go now and have a look at Elliott wave. So we're going to take that filter off, and we're going to go, let's go bull to begin with, bullish. Let's go for wave 4 in the last sort of last 5. Ooh, let's go for beta above 1 to begin with. See how many we got. Ooh, quite a few actually, 43. Let's Mal's here, so let's go optionable, see what's in there. We've got 18 now. We've filtered that down. Okay. So eBay's already on there, and this is what we looked at last week. Or I know I've put it in the Stocks Predator closed forum for the users with that entry. So again, when we look at this and we go big here, nice wave 4 pullback. Oscillator's brilliant. We've got the crossover in the oversold zone. And we're in this one at this point here. Did have a rejection yesterday. So it looks pretty good. It's sensible, got lots of fresh air to the fifth wave target zone. Danger is we could have a bit of what we call an ABC correction during this wave 4, and it could come down and test here and close the gap. However, it does look like it wants to push with that rejection yesterday. So that's that one there. Oh no, I've done it again, haven't I? Pressed the wrong button. Sorry, guys. So JetBlue, short interest is massive on there. Just going to put the manager on as well. So I've mucked up. Bear with me a second. I might have to log back out again. I pressed the wrong buttons and I've hidden things on the chart. Oh dear. What have I done? What have I done? Okay. I think it's just on that one chart, maybe. Oh no, we're fine. There's nothing there though. Let's just take the manager off a minute. And let's just add anyway, oscillator. There they go. They're back again now. I'm pressing the wrong button here, guys. Let's reset. There we go. And let's just add these again. false breakout. And we'll put the manager on there. And EMA cloud, I'm going to put 2 of those on. And then what I'll do with EMA clouds, I want one of them on 89. And one of them on 55, but the 55 I have as great. Okay, so let's just hide them for now. Let's hide the manager. KLAC, we're too late into that one. See the number 5 there, the Elliott wave 4 was 5 candles ago. So that's no good right now. We'll go through here. Oh, no. Yeah, that's already on the watch list. I just want to go through the scanner quickly and see what was occurring with this. So we could just go through. So yeah, I'll go to TTWO in a minute. What I'm going to do is go through. I just wanted a recent scan result for the Elliott wave and go through the process that we use to put them together. So the first of all, I need to make sure again that this oscillator pullback is between 90 and 140. Okay. I reset so it didn't remember. 0.9, 1.4. Okay, that's good. False breakout stochastic on the top. We have just crossing over in the oversold zone now. It's not gone too deep, I think. Just hanging on to that green zone. So there's an 85% probability it's going to go and hit there. And then we just go to the weekly a second. I just want to see if we've got any major support and resistance there. No, we're near the highs. That's okay. Let's go back to the daily. Okay. So looks good. I know we've got a roller coaster just formed for the short here, but that's purely because we come over the top and the momentum's coming down. But if this can hold and start to turn back up again, there could be a really sensible opportunity. So this is a corrective wave force, so an A, B, C. Usually that C leg is longer than A leg. It is just. We just put a fib extension on there. In fact, yeah, okay, right. So entry for these corrective type of wave four is very, very difficult. We can't go long after this. There's not enough fresh air, not enough room. So we have to decide if this is the stop for us and it starts to move back up. First thing we need to do, remember, this is a daily time frame. Every candle has an open, a close, a high, and a low. Look at the average move for these daily candles during the wave four. Look at the average move during wave three. The likelihood is this is our start line. This blue line here is a 6-4 moving average high. So just go to the Elliott's wave indicators for a minute. Okay. So we need to get a close above there. It's not going to happen today, I don't think. We actually coming down today, 61.97. So what we'd look for, first of all, is a close up above there. So let's just say $68 is our interesting point here. Let's make that a different color. Let's go very bright with this one. Okay. So I really want to close in and around $68 above this 6-4 moving average high here. By that time, if that happens now or in the next 3 to 5 days, we'll go neutral on the top here and green here. So as far as the wave 4 behavior is concerned, it's perfect. We've got the Elliott waves off oscillator between 90 and 140. We haven't got a false breakout on the bottom yet. If we do, not bothered in the trade. All we're going to do is watch this now for a move up above and around 68. Look for an entry because it's outside that 6-4 moving average high. Again, we don't know where the low is, but we are going to be looking for that risk to reward below the wave 4 or eventual wave 4 pivot and to where the fifth wave zone. At the moment, it's 1 to 2.6, so it's got a lot of fresh air. Again, we'll watch that. So let's just add that to my Paul's main watch list. And then we'll go to my main watch list right now. So take those filters off, go to my main watch list. TTWO is on there right now. So this is a trade which we have put on in the forum, and I know Mel, you're in this with options right now. So if we just go big on this chart, just want to show you, this came from full confluence at this point here, but there was all-time highs. There was this big daily zone we needed. And again, I did put that in my trading journal and shared it with the community that we needed a close up above there, which we got. And then Mel, I know you've put together in the community a really great options play for that. Just bring that over a minute. So what happens is in Stocks Predator Forum, which is just for the users, TTWO. So this was my initial trading journal here that I needed to see a close above that 246. That happened. And then Mal has put his options play in there, but also he has put the reason why we want to do that. Okay, let's have a look at that. When it finishes downloading, there we go. No, that's the wrong one. There. Okay. So this is TTWO, and this basically is his trade setup. Okay. So this is how sort of involved the community is with putting these setups together. Obviously can't fit all that in a trading journal, so just uploads the document and then shares that with everybody as well. So great work there, Mal. What we're doing live on that one right now. Oh, it's pulling back a little bit right now. Okay, low volume though, so I'm not so worried about that. Lots of other ones in here. SII is a one that we're looking for with, and again, that was on that forum that I put this in here. And we are looking for a long up above this sort of level here. We've got a risk reward of 1 to 1.6, so that's good, fresh air. And it's pretty much good to go. So this is a combination trade. This is confluence. So the wave 4 did pull back a little bit too deep, but it did hold. So that two of the rules were broken, and I put that in my in my journal and then shared it with the community. But that the shape, the pattern of the pullback, although it broke a couple of the rules, the main one is this pullback zone here, and it kept hold of it. So to back that up, to back a fifth wave move up, we need something else. We need a confluence. And so now we have the roller coaster, we have a 5-star buy, and we have all 6 time frames green. So this is what we look for. When we get a failure here, we understand the general pattern and the pattern of this bullish trend is normal. We had a few rules breaks here, but the main thing is we're starting to move away from there now. And a sensible entry would be across this sort of point here. What are we live at the moment? We're dead in the water at the moment. It's not going anywhere. So that holds true, really. Really good looking trade. Bats London. So it's not all US stocks. We've got a really good pullback on here. Again, simple tool is we just use the fib retracement and we look at that oscillator pullback here, and it's between 90 and 140. We've crossed over in the oversold zone with the let's go big on here, in the over here like this, almost back to full confluence. So this weekly zone here, you would think actually, I'm not going to go into there, but the way that a trend behaves is very important. And the longer term we have here of this move, it's come out parabolic, it's pulled back on a wave 4. The idea is now that this will burst through there and go to that fifth wave target zone at 4,420. That's pennies, by the way, not dollars. FTSE is a little different the way they do that. So, you know, that's just you know, again, it's about understanding all of that is very, very important. So let's go escape. We've added BITQ today. Box is one that I've had a look at as well from the scanner. And this really is full confluence. So I just want to go big on this chart again. So the wave 4 failed here. That's fine. We've had a 1 or 2 print now. I'm more interested in now we've got a full confluence. We've had the roller coaster, 4-star buy, 6-star buy, all 6 time frames green. We've got this, what I would say is, you know, it's a good daily zone here. So we want to make sure we're above that. So this is the one I'll be adding to the forum later, guys, is box. And we'll be looking for an entry above there. Momentum seems to be with this really, really good. And there's a lot of fresh air all the way up to $38. What I do with this is I wouldn't use the stop below here for the roller coaster. I think a sensible way to look at this is if it breaks and closes up above here, we use this pivot as a stop. So this is where a bit of sensibility comes in here. So we stop here, entry there, risk reward 1 to 1.6. Yeah, really good. So this in reality now would be our stop below this pivot here. That's sensible, really. If it's got momentum to break these previous rejections, we're talking 1, 2, 3, fourth time's a charm sort of thing. You know, the idea is we're going to be more aggressive with that stop. So we want to risk $1,000 to win $1,600, $1,700 at this point here. I think that's the sensible move to do, to have that stop there. But again, I will put all that together. I have put an initial plan together here. I just haven't finished it yet. RSI is another one on my watch list at the moment. Again, that changes quite daily. We had a fantastic trade on this one. Again, we had full confluence on this one at this point, okay? And we traded all the way up, okay? This came on the confluence scanner. This roller coaster, 6-star buy, all 6 time frames green, going long. At this point here, you can see the dash line. And again, that's, again, for those not that are on in the forum, this was called in the forum. Again, that forum's for users. And we traded all the way up to here. Now, why is this on my watch list now? We could be having a wave 4 pullback to come and close this gap here and find support around this point. And then I'd look for a 5th wave move. Okay. So there could be a really good opportunity, but not now. We know this behaves well. We've had a fantastic trade from it. All we need to do now is, you know, does this pullback find sort of support this previous 5th wave target zone? Does it come back into our pullback zone? Or is this just a short-term pullback? And in which case, if it turns back around and comes back up again, we could get confluence. So this comes a hot stock on our watch list, because there's a lot of factors working for this. So we're halfway through, half an hour gone. So that's the stopped predator. Any questions on that before I move on? We're going to be doing a confluence. Thanks, Christopher. So again, I won't be doing any NinjaTrader at ASBs today because my VPS is down. I think it's something to do with our internet connectivity here, because we've been having problems throughout the region and Asia because a big line got cut. And my current version on the PC, because I've just got back to Dubai, it needs updating for NinjaTrader. The new source code that we got over the summer, I need to put that on, and I've just been very busy since we got back. So what I'm going to do now is bring over gold, because I know, Richard, you traded this again today, but this confluence combination that we have is phenomenal. Okay, again, it will change, and I want to talk about why it will change at some point, and we have to re-optimize the confluence. At the moment, we're 15 min Heikin Ashi, 15 min Heikin Ashi on the roller coaster and the xBrat algo. We're 5 minutes normal candle on the bi-step VWAP predator, and we are 5 minutes on the bi-step theme map. So let's just go big on this particular chart. This was the trade today. The only reason this got taken out today, really, and it took profit, was to do with CPI. Okay, so there was a data. Now, you can't, I mean, I can't tell the markets what to do. I can't tell them when a confluence comes together and you go long or short. And I can't tell you that, only take trades when there isn't any data. Because on another day, this could have gapped up on data and it would be an absolute flyer. So the main thing is we were locking in, if you went for the conservative entry at this point, around $700 profit, okay, for one contract. Yeah. So you can't be scared of going into that, especially if it's hours and hours and hours before that. Yeah. So, you know, it works. And how do we know the confluence combination is correct? Because I know, Richard, you traded this trade as well. So, this, and then we just look at others. And I'm going to go back now. This is another one. This hasn't changed for 3 or 4 weeks, this combination. And then we can go back another one. Okay, where you see these, there wasn't the confluence. So this was another one, 343 ticks. Okay, there was another one, 137 ticks, and it goes on. This is a really good one at the moment. But when I sort of scooch this out a little bit, we can see a pattern right now. We can see a pattern that longs are hot on gold. Okay, now that's because we're in a longer term trend, an uptrend. Okay, but at some stage, this behavior will change. Okay, I'm not necessarily going to say it will be a loss, because confluence actually try almost sort of cancels out any potential losses, because you need so much to happen for the trade to go in. So since so the 27th of August, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. Okay. So it's not trading every day. Excuse me, I've got a sore throat. But the longs are sort of quite hot right now. So one of the things that we can do is identify this current trend on our chart, just to give us some confidence of once it starts to break out of a channel, for example, it may be time to then sort of don't follow any trades right now. Let some data gather and see if there are better options for that. And we do have the AI starting to work to put those combinations together. But one of the things is, and I call it, I was with the team in the office today for the app, and I call it a checkpoint, really. And that could be a big sort of linear support and resistance zones, but also it could indeed be um, a break of a longer term channel. So this is on the 15 minute. If we go quite a long way back here, you can see that, I mean, this thing's got 424 ticks here. It's been going forever. Okay. So right now we're in a really strong move. It did pull back at this point, but then it's going again. So it's almost trying to understand how far we go. I mean, look, I mean, again, I've been tracking this, okay? So part of my job, and I know confluence is my strategy, but a part of my job is to train the AI. So to train the AI for futures, I need a test subject, and that's been gold. Okay. So I need a ground zero, and I need to basically input the combinations that um, as 30 years experience and basically invented the confluence strategy, would put together. It then starts to learn from me, starts to suggest changes. I look at those changes, either ignore them, give them reasons why. It's a long going process. You can see this process has been going all the way since sort of beginning of July on gold futures. Um, but one of the things we've been discussing today is this is a long-term sort of bullish trend right now. Uh, the short trades that have happened have been losers. Okay, the long trades have been really, really good. We need to break out of this longer term trend, uh, quite severely, and then let some price action and some moves move before we actually uh, are able to train the next step of that checkpoint being crossed. One of the things you can do on this 15-minute chart is, um, excuse me a minute, parallel channel. Just going to pick out some points on this here for a channel. I really don't like yellow, honestly. Um, I'm liking blue, and I like it filled in blue. Okay, so right now, this is what we're looking at roughly, okay? I just go to now the 60 minutes. Okay. We can see this is a good sort of intraday channel that we're in right now. Okay. We can see there was another one at this point here. There was another one at this point here. When it did break, there was some losing opportunities. We went flat, and then it's not parabolic, it's just a bullish move. So we go back to the 15-minute where we were, making sure we're on Heikin-Ashi. So for those trading the confluence strategy now, as long as we're in this channel and we're getting longs, I like the longs. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be taking any shorts, but to actually get a short confluence signal is going to be very difficult. You can see all this way through, we've only had four out of six on the bias depth heat map. So it's a very difficult sort of situation to actually get a short. I would probably ignore the first one. And once I see price action sort of coming out and then breaking this channel, but also then where's my linear support and resistance zones? I do the same thing all the bloody time. Okay. I'm just going to go back to 60 again. Whoa. Okay. I've gone back to daily. Okay. Let's put a daily zone in there. Uh, okay. I think. Right. Not many people can understand my charts because I'm very visual when I do all my back testing and everything like that. It's a big daily zone there. I want to go to 60-minute. Okay. I want to see if we've got a decent 60-minute zone. We've got two touches there. I need three. I need three to give me. Okay, so there. Let's color that in. We go pink, pink. Okay. So big pivot clustering here, pivot here, pivot here. So I wouldn't be interested in a short setup on the 15-minute. Go back to the 15-minute. Until I breach this sort of level here. So we're out of the channel, we're out of here. I'd probably like one trade to actually take hold. But once I get some movement, and what I mean by movement is things like we come down, we move up, we test, we come down, we break this pivot here, we've broken the cycle. So then we look at the confluence or the combinations for those time frames and look for something else that's in the groove now. It may be this setup, it may not be. But the main thing is we've broken this. I do have to be careful around that 3,500 because we know that's a daily zone. So it's just about putting that operational landscape together. Very basic, but so you can understand this has been a really strong move, and I know, Richard, you got the big move the other day. This one here, you got some of this today. I think you've probably made $2,500 this week, so it's not a bad move yet. Okay, but right now we've had the data, and we always look for catalysts in data to change behavior. So at this point, is that behavior changed? We won't know for a day or so. Okay. This may come down and turn around and we get another long. Okay. At this moment in time, we've had data. We need things to settle. We need the groove, the behavior to do its thing. And then we can start trading again. At this moment in time, there's been no massive moves. It is coming down. It's coming down with lower than average volume, probably the time of day as well. We had this big candle here, and then we're just sort of slowly meandering down. In theory, if this keeps running out of juice, that'll turn right back up again, and we could get another long signal. But we only go long when we get full confluence. That confluence is very, very, very important. So when we're looking at this, you see these vertical lines. These are my sort of lines for, where's my green one gone? I must have deleted that one. So what I'm looking for is thinking layout. That initial roller coaster is my anchor strategy. The next point of control for me is, if we go big on this chart, is that we get across of this green start line for roller coaster. Then I need the xBrat algo and all the VWAP predator. It doesn't matter which order they come in, but we still have to have 5 or 6 out of 6 on there. Hence, this is a higher sort of entry than we would have down here. But entering just on this without the confluence of the others is I always say confluence is like a river that's turning into rapids. You need more than one tributary feeding that river to make things really go and that directional flow move fast. You don't need one. If you just get one, it'll just run out, and it'll just make the river flow a little bit faster for a while. Okay, so we need these to build up, and this is where this comes in here. Yes, it was a later entry, but we needed confirmation from momentum. And then we can see that moves. And that move was around about trading stop 71, $710. So, it wasn't massive. Whereas yesterday, we took it all the way into the close. This trade yesterday, and I know at least some of you should have been in that, was $380, $3,800. So that's $4,500 this week on a confluence strategy when the bundle only costs $1,950 for life. I mean, do the math, really. So this is, and I'll also show you that MGC is pretty much the same. It's just that you can't use the signals, especially trading stops, because the price can be different. and the profile of the candle can be different as well. This is why we treat it as a totally separate instrument. What I want to do is also now, if I just take that off, got 10 minutes left. I want to show you the difference if I can find the chart set. There we go. Right. So I want to show you the difference. And I mentioned it today in the automated strategy builder for the VWAP. So I'm going to go to the US dollar CHF. So this is basically a visual representation of what's happening on the app. And I want to go through the differences for those VWAP predator settings. So, and I want to show you why that happens. Remember, VWAP predator is all about momentum. So this was the short yesterday on the app for confluence. Now, a lot of lines here, but this is what I do. So let's get everything set up so I can talk you through this and then show you the differences. 8th. Come on. There we go. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. 8th. Right. The normal behavior, okay, for the VWAP predator, I've changed it to 0.5 and 1.5. So the sequence of events for confluence. We've not had too many crypto trades right now on because it's been flat on Confluence, so it's just been pretty dead. Crypto has, but if I have the time, yeah. So the main thing here is that we get the roller coaster, which is the red dotted line. Okay, you can see that up here. Then we get the 6-star buy signal, which is the purple line. Now, with the VWAP predator on the normal settings of, and this is the band's multiplier of 1 and 2, so it's like standard deviation. You'll see the first momentum signal for the sell is all the way here. Now, that would be that green line here would be the entry. We've been trying to find the way, and it was only AI that suggested this, is that we actually become more aggressive with this band multiplier and the standard deviation to be able to collect that momentum earlier. And this will work in theory, again, with the app or with any confluence strategy, is to look at these settings for these band multipliers. And at the moment, we're just going with 0.5 and 1.5. Okay, but what that does is actually makes these extensions from the VWAP. So if we just go big on the VWAP a little bit. So the VWAP is the blue dotted line. The extensions here, the standard deviations, are closer together. Just having 1 and 2 just made them sort of expand exponentially during the day. Okay. What we want to do is when we get full confluence, we want to be able to pick those out earlier and pick the momentum out earlier. So adjusting those, that standard deviation for those extensions from here gives us that opportunity. And this is not just a one-hit wonder. I have spent 5 hours this afternoon looking at forex and crypto, and it is a lot better. So now when we go big on this chart, we can see we did have one coming in before there, which in reality, if we've got full bias depth heat map confirmation, that would still be good. But even with this one that came in a little later here, we'd still be good. But this is the one that we take, okay? With confluence, if the VWAP predator gives us a signal and it's got the bias depth heat map of 5 or 6, and that continues into this here, we go at that point here, okay? Even if we went for the later one, we would have a massive difference. Now, I want to show you the reasons why we were doing this, because at the moment, crypto's been having small moves, okay? Where are we now? I had a big move. Crypto's been having small moves. So when we get a big impulse move like this was our original VWAP here. Okay. Now we get a VWAP at this point, we're a lot lower. So if we get in later here, the trailing stop gets taken out, we take small losses. So we, the AI has been learning 6, 7 months on here and basically asking it those questions to get in earlier of the trade. So it comes out, it looks at 11,000 different combinations. And one of the biggest things is this band multiplier for that momentum. So when we look at here, for example, we can see early on, we do get this move. Okay. Now, currently, the rules are if we get this move and we stay 5 out of 6, that's fine. But at this point here, we were only 4 out of 6. We've got a yellow on the top, yellow on the bottom. So that's the one we take at this point here, this second one here. So our entry is here. So we actually gone from a slightly losing trade to a winning trade. Okay. So instead of 80s and 85% win rates, because we're getting these little losers, we can increase that win rate. And this is important when you're building your confluences. And it will be the same on Doge. It will be the same on Litecoin, for example, and on Link, all the same sort of thing. XRP, we got internet connections here, so it just went. It's about getting those combinations right, and it's about changing that so this is the normal profile with the standard 1 and 2 deviations. You can see it's just getting wider and wider and fatter and fatter. When we do this, it will not get fatter and fatter. Okay. What it will do is look for those momentums earlier and get that in. So when we go to the US dollar CHF and we go big on here, if we were on the normal profile, we see the distance from here to here, that would continue exponentially for the rest of the day, like it is right now, but because it's going down and down and down and down and down and down. But at this point here, it didn't continue to go because we've changed those values, and we're able to look for momentum a lot earlier. So it's not just crypto, it's not just Bitcoin, it's everything. So again, only gold that we've used with AI at the moment for looking for those combinations. But what we're looking, so MES today, for example, I don't know what combination, Mel, do you use for MES? If you don't mind me asking at the moment, because we haven't run this through the black box yet. 15, 15, yeah. Okay, so let's just have a look at this recent long here. And then just draw our lines, and this is what we do. This is how we backtest, and this is how we actually trade moving forward. That's our long. We're green. Let's sync in the layout. Okay. Let's have a look at our xBrat algo. Vertical line. Sync in layout. Okay, we're all 6 on the bias depth heat map. We're all good there. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you do it. We have yellow here, sync in layout. So that's our normal setting here for 1 and 2. So we basically had to wait for the xBrat algo. That was our last chance saloon, if you like. That was our last of the confluences coming in. That was the entry here, sync in layout. It was CPI that took us out there. Yeah. So one thing to look at here, guys, and I know, Mal, you've been on my apprenticeship, spotting this rejection on higher than average volume is the time to get out. Okay, it's a green candle, so it has more volume than the previous candle, higher than average volume, and that rejection from the low to the high is more than 50%. Okay, so instead of a 14 tick win, this was a 36 tick win. Use the manager. If you get a massive rejection on higher than average volume, more than 50%, the momentum to the upside is going to run out of juice. Do you see how it tried, but it didn't even get to those highs? And eventually we're coming into data. Nobody wants to trade, get the CPI reaction, and that's what happened. Okay. So always look at the manager. It's part of the confluence bundle, guys. Do not ignore it. It is very, very important. Okay, so good session today. Stocks Predator, lots of confluence. When you're looking at that confluence setup, do look at that VWAP changing the band multiplier here from 1 to 2 to 0.5 to 1.5. Okay. I mean, every instrument's different, but we are finding, for example, this one here, that would be relevant. Okay. This is an earlier sign of momentum. Yeah. Rather than all the way up here where we get that green, this is an earlier sign of momentum. Okay. So, yeah, in this case, the xBrat algo was the last one. In 80% of the cases, the VWAP Predator is the last one of confluence. And actually, to get that out of the way a lot earlier in the move and understand that momentum earlier is crucial for sort of increasing that profit per trade. So any questions before I go? Because I do have to go. It's 9 p.m. here, and I've got a cold. I'm suffering. Cheers, guys. Thank you for turning up. I know it's a new thing every week, but hopefully we'll get bigger crowds as we grow, and the recording will be on tomorrow sometime. Cheers, guys. Speak to you all soon.